This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, so the Diddy trial dragging on with Cassie's testimony today coming to an end. So we're going to go through this. They didn't even tackle that much new information today, but they kept having to recess and go back, but let's get into where we left off. We left off about 3 hours ago, and we'll cruise right through this. So we left off with her jealousy with Kim Porter and Gina, the two other girls that are in the relationship. And we left off where she didn't see him ever again after Kim Porter's funeral. Let's see. So we'll pick up right here. So let's see. The jury returns. Boom. So we're almost done here. The jury enters, and Diddy's lawyer says, "So we're almost done, Miss Ventura." She says, "Thank you. I will read Mr. Combs' messages. You're going to make a beautiful mother. God bless." Cassie said, "I said thank you. God bless." Then Cassie wrote, I wrote, "We should talk and have closure." Then Diddy says, Mr. Combs sent her a tearful emoji. He says, "You were always my ride or die." Cassie says, "I thought it was nice." Then Combs' lawyer says, "You'd been craving that." Cassie says, "Before, I don't think I was craving now, okay? Like, chill out, buddy." And Combs' lawyer says, "You shaped you over 11 years. You shaped each other." Cassie says, "Yes." Then he says, "Your husband's a physical trainer." She says, "Yes." Then he says, "The house you grew up in Connecticut was relatively modest compared to mansions?" She says, "Yes." Then he says, "You were prepping to tour with Matt Testa." Cassie says, "Yes, he's an engineer." Then Combs' lawyer says, "Once you settled your lawsuit, you canceled the tour, right?" She says, "Yes." "Because you no longer needed money?" Cassie says, "That wasn't even the reason." Then Diddy's lawyer says, they jump around a lot in these testimonies. Then he says, "After the hotel video came out, you posted on Instagram that domestic violence is the issue, right?" Cassie says, "Yes, I still feel that way." I mean, it wasn't right for Diddy to kick her, put hands on her ever. Okay, so she is a victim. He says, DX1 1015. Mr. Combs wrote, "Want to freak off one last time? Would you write?" Cassie says, "I don't want it to be the last time. I want freak off for the first time." Then he says, "No further questions." The judge says, "Redirect." What? I don't want it to be the last time. I want freak off for the first time. So maybe she's doing freak offs with her trainer? Maybe they do freak offs. Who knows? Then the government steps in and do redirect. It says, "Miss Ventura, were you shown this message where you ended? I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. What did you say after that?" Cassie says, "Yes, I'm horny. Just got over a UTI." Then he says, "You were shown messages today in which you and Sean were kind and loving." She says, "Yes." If I was, I'm gonna pause for a second. If I was Cassie's husband right now, I'd be like, "Damn, you were texting him this while we were starting our relationship? Like, I don't know if I could trust you. He has kids with her now. I guarantee you, Cassie's relationship with her current husband won't last, especially after this. Because I think he was revealed a lot more in this than he knew. The text messages and stuff like that, She told him a story. He went with, I'm not saying, like, she's wrong, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, this is life. Life is sick, But who knows? Maybe they're freaky. And maybe he's down with it. He doesn't care. I don't know. We don't know, right? So the government says, you were shown messages today in which you and Sean were kind and loving. She says, yes. Did those periods ever last? Combs says objection. Combs' lawyer says objection. Justice overruled. She says, Cassie says, no, they didn't last. They'd have a downswing. Government says, what world did Sean open up to you? She says, Cassie, a world of chaos. AUSA, in your 11-year relationship, did you want to have, who did you want to have sex with? She says, only him at the time. The government says, when Sean wrote, seduce me all day, what did you do? Write about freak-offs, Cassie said. Were you able to cancel work obligations for freak-offs? Cassie says, yes, if I was told to do that. The government says, then, were you shooting a movie in South Africa and you blocked him? How did he contact you? She says, through Mia. I think that's the assistant. AUSA Johnson, he said he didn't remember hurting you. Did you believe him? Cassie says, not always, because I knew him. There were times he was pretty aware of what he was doing. It's just who he was. I'd seen him be violent with other people. Then the government says, on the way back from Cannes, what did Sean do? Cassie says, he played a video of me having sex with an escort. What did he say he'd do? Cassie says, he'd release it. When you got to New York, what did Sean ask for? A freak off, or he'd release it. Government says, when Sean wrote, you're ready for tonight, what did he mean? Cassie, a freak off. Government, what were you afraid of he would do if he didn't do the freak off? They say objection. Wait, it was, and then, okay. It says objection from Diddy. Overruled. I don't know that week, Cassie says. Next question, judge says. Did you have any doubt that Sean hard R-word you? Objection, overruled. Cassie says, I have no doubt. Then they says, after Sean hard R-word you on August 18th, did you later have consensual sex with Sean, during which your now husband FaceTimed you? Yes. Why did you cancel the tour? After I filed the civil suit, I was overwhelmed addressing the past. The way that I chose to was overwhelming. I didn't want to go. Did you plan to file more lawsuits? No, she says. Would you give the $20 million back if you hadn't have had to do freak-offs? They say, objection. Judge says overruled. She says, I would give it back to get my agency back. I would give it back to get my agency back? I don't think it meant agency. Why did they write agency? I think they meant like my confidence back, maybe? Agency? I don't know. Did he beat you during the freak-offs? She says, yes. And she starts to cry. AOC Johnson, were you open to freak-offs in the beginning? At the beginning, Cassie says, yes, I was. Did you tell him when you were no longer into them? Cassie says, yes, more than once. Government says, what concerns did you have about saying no to freak-offs? She said, safety, career, love. And the government says, no further questions. Judge, Mr. Esteveo, Combs' lawyer. You knew Mr. Combs' sexual preference was these freak-offs, right? Cassie says, I learned. He says, it was a part of being his girlfriend. She says, yes. You kept your old device? She says, yes. And the freak-off videos in the case, they were all those devices you kept from 2012 to 2014. Cassie says, I don't know what years. He says, you were able to stand at his side at Met Gala, being his girlfriend, gave you access to producers. She says, yes. Beyond Kid Cudi, what other musicians were you put in studio with? Were you put in studio with Nicki Minaj? She says, yes. This is the first reference to Nicki Minaj in this trial. Inner City Press has been informed of a falsified post of its reporting has been circulating. The post below is not from Inner City Press, which is reporting right now. What's said in U.S. versus Sean Combs, which is not included below. It's something about Nicki Minaj didn't care. She said it's part of the business. That is a fake Someone's circulating a fake thing from inner city press that states that Nikki said, "This is just part of the business. Stop complaining." I'm glad he clarified that, because I read that earlier and I was like, I don't think Nikki would have said that to Cassie, right? Combs' lawyer says, "You were in the studio with Lil Wayne." She says, "Yes." And with Rick Ross and Pusha T. Am I forgetting any names? She says, "You've got a lot of names." And you are self-conscious about your musical talent? She says, "I wouldn't say that." Then Combs' lawyer says, "You had a bad performance on 106 in Park." She says, "Yes, early in my career." "You did music videos. Were they successful?" The judge says, "May we have a brief sidebar?" Combs' lawyer back. "D-Rock was like a member of your family?" She says, "Yes, like a brother." Like a brother, D-Rock. D-Rock was not your brother. D-Rock was Diddy's guy. The assistant Mia, you also had a friendship with? She says, "Yes." "Okay, here you begin with explicit messages," and he responds with one. "You are actively sexting." Combs Estevio, you stated you were feeling overwhelmed after filing your civil lawsuit, right? She says, "Yes." "You recently received a settlement from the Intercontinental Hotel?" She says, "No." "You made a demand?" "Yes, $10 million maybe." "Anything further?" "No." AUSA Johnson, "I have one question." Judge says, "I was asking Mr. Estevio, can you wrap this up in 2 minutes?" Combs Estevio, "This is the last thing I'll ask to read, Miss Ventura. Thank you. We need closure and understanding." So, AUSA Johnson, "Why do you keep your devices?" Ventura says, "I was afraid of what was on them. I wouldn't take them to Apple Store." And then Combs' lawyer says, "Question 1, you just reached a $10 million settlement with Intercontinental last week before trial?" Objection, overruled. Yes. Okay, so she hasn't received any money, but they reached a settlement for that guy leaking that video, huh? Combs Angolfino, "We object to the testimony of the witness after Special Agent Don Richard." Wait, okay. So Combs' lawyer says, "We object to the testimony of a witness after the Special Agent Don Richard." Why is the coming up at 3:30 p.m.? Going forward, you just address things before the courtroom. So why are submissions on the docket? Jury entering. "Good afternoon. Where do you work?" Special Agent Yasin Binda, Home Security Investigations and Human Trafficking Group. I'm in the Crisis Negotiation Group. So this is someone from Home Security Investigations. These are people that raided Diddy's house. "Did you serve subpoenas in this case?" the government asked. They said, "Yes." "When Sean Combs was arrested, where did you go?" "The Park Hyatt room 2115, where he was staying." "What did you do?" "We assigned a letter to each room and began to search." "What was your role?" "I took photographs of items, then signed on 6051 form." "Was this found in the closet?" Photos shown of plastic bags full of J&J baby oil. What, this guy was still doing this? When they arrested him at the Hyatt, he still had baby oil on him? "Was this found in the bathroom?" "Several bottles of baby oil." Diddy's addicted to baby oil, bro. "Now in the bedroom, what was found in the LV bag?" "Medication in the name of Frank Black." Okay, so this is Diddy's name. "And that is this?" "Bags of pink powder found in medicine bottle." The pink powder was found to be ketamine in an MDMA bottle. Physical evidence passed around the jury. "What was found in the black mini pack? Please take a cash out the bag." Might have found fanning out bills. No further questions. Any cross? Combs' lawyer says, "In the hotel room, did you see any bags and clothing inciting a woman had been there?" "Yes." Judge, the U.S. may call its next witness. Your Honor, the government calls Don Richard. Where are you from? New Orleans, Louisiana. From 2004 to 2011, who'd you work for? Sean Combs. Did you see him? Yes. Oh, so this is going on right now. It's not updated yet. Let me see. I thought they would have been done for the day. I guess they're going to start this and then end it. This might not even be worth reading because this is going to be from Danity Kane. All right. Oh, maybe it'll just be quick. Let's see. All right. Who's depicted in this photo? Cassie. In 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? She was attacked by Sean Combs, kicked. Did you see any more violence against him and Cassie? Often. Photo of Diddy, Dirty Money shown. Were you a member of this group? Yes, 2009 to 2011. The incident in 2009 when Sean Combs beat Cassie, where was it? In Sean Combs' LA home. We were recording. What did he do? He was saying, "Where the F is my food?" He grabbed the black skillet with eggs and tried to hit her over the head. Cassie dropped to the ground. What did she do? She went into the fetal position. Then what? Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and the body and then dragged her to the first floor. Glass breaking, yelling, "I was scared for her," and me too. Did you intervene? No. Did you call the police? No. Then what happened? It had been passionate and she was okay, and it would be better if we didn't talk. That people could end up missing. Okay, so she was basically saying, hey, stay out of this. Death. How did you understand that? Death. Combs' lawyer says, objection, sidebar. This is going to be it for the day. I'm telling you, we're 4 minutes away from 5 o'clock, and they don't go beyond 5. They got right into it, huh? Cassie's husband is trending right now on Twitter. The next day, what happened? Oh, no. Okay, so they're doing a sidebar now. They're going to probably end after this. Let's see. Why is Cassie's husband? Alex Fine made a great statement via Cassie's lawyer about the narratives online about how he must be feeling sitting there listening to the testimony of how he saved her. He said that's an insult to the years of painful work she did and that she saved herself. Fine statement. Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten this is Cassie's husband. Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife, freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride, overwhelming love for Cass. Yeah, okay. Yeah, please, bro. Stop. You're picturing her getting golden showers and getting freaked off by multiple men at once. She was into it, bro. Stop. She was into some of this. She wasn't into being hit. She didn't deserve to be hit. She didn't deserve to have her confidence taken from her. She didn't deserve to be blackmailed. But I think she was into the freaky stuff, and I don't think you've seen that side of her. He said, I felt very profound anger that she's been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her. So to him and all those who helped along the way, please know this: you did not break her spirit, nor her smile that lights up every room. You did not break the souls of a mother who gives the best hugs and plays the silliest games with our little girls. You did not break this woman who has made me a better man. Sounds like a soft man. I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult in the years of my painful work my wife has done for herself. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from the abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is to love her, and she has loved me. Her life is now surrounded by love, laughter, and our family. This horrific chapter is forever put behind us, and we will not be making additional statements. We appreciate all the love and support we have received, and we ask that you respect our privacy, and we welcome our son into this world. It's now safer because of his mom. He probably is going to add on later. Now, we will take a trip around the world with Diddy's cash. She deserves that cash, though. Let's be honest. Okay. Things are better with $30 million because they got another $10 million from Intercontinental, we see. What is this? In 2019, Alex Fine, Cassie's husband, ran 50-mile marathon for domestic violence, and they hugged you. This guy is Wow. Never mind. I did it for you, baby. For all the freak offs. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. Well, I'll check and see if they're gonna. That's him right there. I did it for you. I ran 50 miles. Huh. Anyways, let's see if Inner City Press just called it a day. I'm sure he did, because I think they all called it a day. This guy does good work, though. He does this with a lot of cases, like not just these kind of cases. Back from the sidebar, judge says, jurors, you can leave for the weekend. That's just what I thought. Watch the Yankees play the Mets or the Knicks. If you're not into sports, there's a lot going on. See you Monday. Jurors leave. Judge Mr. Richard, you can leave. Boom. Done. All right. So that was day 5 in the books. Diddy. More people will corroborate Cassie's story. Diddy will look more like a monster. I think he is kind of crazy. Very crazy. And we will go from there, and we'll see how next week progresses. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. I'll check you guys in the next one. Smash that like button for me. Peace.